Trio. I'm Christian, and I'm here with
Clayton.
And Carver.
Today we are talking about updates on school and more. Okay, so who'd like to start?
Well,
I,
I guess like the number one thing it's obvious that we need to bring up. We are all online no matter what we chose, in person or remote right now.
yeah, there is. Hopefully, they just slowly get everyone back to like semi in person, which is called hybrid. But yeah, we
Yeah.
are on now. We don't know when we're going to be able to go back to hybrid or in person or whenever. I think that will just depend on cases and if and when the vaccine comes out next year, because it's supposed to come out early next year or mid next year. But I
Yeah.
mean, there is some good news though because sports are back up. You know, so I I don't know if it's all sports. I think it's all fall sports, but I don't know about band. Do you know about band, Carver?
Yeah, band is in it. It's I'll talk to that after we get done talking with sports because it's a little interesting.
Yeah.
So, based off of my understanding with the sports thing, it was a 5 yeses and 2 no vote. And basically, if it was the reason that they, what I kind of understand is they gave it back as in, we understand that you guys are frustrated with not being able to go in person, stuff like that. So we're giving you guys the privilege of having your sports and your activities back. But you got to continue to follow them, or we will easily take them back and say you can't do them.
Yeah, follow the restrictions.
Yeah,
Um,
I was actually there protesting for that at
Wait,
the
were you
call.
you? Yeah, you were outside the board meeting, right?
Yeah, I was I went to go pick up my friend for cross country practice like the 2 days after that, and he was like, "I saw you on the news." I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" He's like, "You were at the board meeting." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I don't even know how he recognized me. I mean, I had my mask on. I mean, I did have my NJRC hoodie on, and I was holding a sign for NJRC, but I was just chanting like "Let us play" and everything because the school board was deciding on whether they would say yes or no or like vote on yes or no. And there was like me and then a bunch of kids from like also from north, but then east, west, south, all the SMSD school districts, and then parents as well protesting for students to be able to play fall sports again. So I was just caught off guard that I was actually on the news doing that, and it was just weird for me for him just like, yeah, I noticed you were on the news, and he didn't even know it was me at first until like he kind of had like to do some detective work to figure it out because he noticed what my mask looks like because I have a patriotic mask. It's like a flag with the eagle. And then my ROTC hoodie, and I also have like the zero fade haircut like every day. um, so yeah, it was just weird. I mean, I did fight for the cause that I believed in, so and we did get a good outcome of that. I mean, of course, we can play sports now, so that's a win. And yes, we do need to continue to follow the guidelines so we don't get that taken away, like revoked from us. Um, so we can just continue with our fall sports and eventually get back into school if the school board sees that we're following the guidelines and are willing to continue following them.
Yeah. I guess Clayton, would you? How did you guys like figure out the news that they voted in favor? Like, what was that? How was that like? Was it like a little celebration outside? How was it?
Well, the process of that we were actually outside listening to the live stream on YouTube while we were protesting to see what they were saying, and it was actually said that they heard us in there while like they were having the meeting, being as loud as we were, and I think that's influenced them a lot, being that they heard like 200 people or so outside chanting "Let us play," like because all we wanted to do is to obtain the goal that we had achieved and for us to play. So it was just it was a moment where it's like a, you felt like you accomplished something. It was an accomplished goal. Um. So yeah, it was just I guess
I will say if they didn't, because obviously there were two people that said no, we should not let it happen. Um, I was gonna be completely surprised if it was the other way around, where it was five people voted no, not to let them happen, because we would have been like the only school around where we live.
yeah, because Blue Valley's been playing fall sports for a while now, and Olathe as well. And so we were literally the only school, um, school
That
district.
hasn't even said anything yet.
Yeah,
And then at the same time, we're also the only school they they don't limit us to. Okay, you want to do sports, you have to do online, because that's what I think Olathe is doing.
wow.
Because they
See,
said no sports, so unless you do online, but like uh, a town over is saying, like us, we're saying, oh, it doesn't matter, and then the next town over is saying, oh, we can't, you can't do it unless you're in person. So it's kind of like a mixed reaction, I guess, kind
yeah,
of, because it's it's every school district is different.
yeah. See, at first they were we were listening to the school board meeting on the live stream, and they were talking about all the reasons why it wouldn't work, and so we were like kind of discerned, and that just made us like fight more for the cause, for us to be able to play sports. So we just kept getting louder and louder and just spoke our hearts out basically. I lost my voice from doing that.
Well, I'm glad it got in your guys' favor,
Yeah,
because not only about the fact that you guys would be losing a season, you had to think about the seniors this year. They'd be losing their last season, and they might have been hoping that they could get a scholarship from doing their sports.
yeah, and yeah, they talked about postponing to the spring, but that's still going to conflict with other sports in the spring that other people played or that
Exactly.
you played. Like you can play a fall sport and spring sport and winter sport like I do because I do bowling in the winter, artsy all year, cross country in the fall, and golf in the spring. So if they postpone the fall sports to spring, then I'd have to choose between golf and cross country, and that right there would
It
I
would
wouldn't mind
suck.
golf. Yeah, it sucked exactly. It would have to. It'd make me choose between two sports that I love doing, and I would not like that at all. And along with like they don't even know if it's going to be okay to postpone it then, or like what's going to happen if they do. So I don't know. I don't know if that would have happened. I don't know what I would do because it's just a lot of studying things to think about and just achieve. I guess I should say. Or
I guess, Christian, do you have any comments on that?
Um, yeah, kind of. Um, I mean, as long as everyone does follow the restrictions, I feel like it's definitely a good idea. Where the only problem I see with the whole doing sports is the fact that um there is that unpredictability of it, that you don't know how bad it could go. Like, I'm not trying to say that it it's a bad idea per se, but I will say that as long as people are careful, it's a good idea.
But yeah, no, you have a valid point because they were bringing it up at the board meeting also about them trying to get the elementary students back into school. It took several months of planning. That with the sports thing, it's more like they're doing a flip of a switch and just doing a sudden change, while getting elementary kids back into school was more of a gradual decision.
I also feel like if they are gonna have be doing sports, I know it's gonna be kind of inconvenient. I feel like they should have, I don't know, like maybe. Now I'm not saying like do it every like 2 days, but like some like frequent testing.
Yeah, that. Yeah, they brought that up as a major problem. Is the testing? It's not frequent. You can't get your results the exact same day. It could be like a week before you could get them.
Yeah, see, again, I mean, as long as people are following the guidelines, and I don't mean just saying that they're following them, I mean actually following them, um, then it should be fine. And as long as they're doing frequent testing, I think that should be fine. But I mean, yeah, that's my standpoint on it.
So I guess I'll talk a little bit about band here. I am going to bring up a little bit about online band and how it's working for me, just because it kind of relates.
Yeah,
And
there's a
Christian, you can
couple
bring
ways.
it up too,
Yeah, because mine
because
works a little bit different, I think.
yeah, we kind of do we. It's not like normal band where we're all playing together. It's more like, okay, yes, we are playing together, but we can't hear each other because it's on WebEx and it would all be delayed from and all
Yeah.
that. And then
Well, there's two ways they're doing it. There's two ways that they're doing it. One way is online. The other way is when hybrid kicks in. They're going to be doing that. And so, basically, if you chose to do completely online, then you would be playing online for the full year. Which how that works is he'll have you like play one at a time, like on a playing test or something like that, or he'll have you send a recording in, and that's kind of basically how it's working right now. But with the hybrid is they're gonna have it like uh, I think it's like either a couple, one or like couple of days a week. They're gonna have a certain amount of students come in that have chosen to do the hybrid, and they're gonna play together there. At least that's my understanding of it.
yeah, that's pretty much what they're doing. But of course, with this vote or whatever that we've been talking about, it influences band and all that too. Like for me, because I chose in person, even though we're online right now, we're allowed to have Monday night rehearsals from 6:30 to 8, but we're not allowed to have early mornings from like 6:45 to 7:30, which I understand why not the mornings, because that would be us there for like 45 minutes and then we had to go home and do class then.
Yeah.
But the Monday nights, I completely am excited for that because at least in band, I know everyone truly follows. Like, I trust everybody there.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this with band, it's a little bit more difficult to enforce every single rule. And I only say this because, again, they can do the spacing out and everything. That works out perfectly. I will say that. And
Yeah.
this is just like a minor like thing that I'm bringing up. Like for example, it'd be pretty hard to do band with masks because They're it'd be like a huge inconvenience.
Yeah, that is like the only time we're not allowed to wear them is
And then for
when we're playing.
instruments like for example, I'm the tuba slash sousaphone, and we have to sometimes share our instruments,
Oh, I didn't
which
even think about that.
can cause a lot of problems with this whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So, and most instruments don't have that problem, but like for example, with us, uh, we share some of our instruments. So, yeah, that's one. That's like the only, and I'm just like bringing up this stuff because I want to make sure both sides are put in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because again, I do like the idea, and like I said, the spacing out part is easy, and even with the masks, that's fine because most of the time your mouth is going to be in like the mouthpiece, or you're going to be doing like a read or something like that, and so that's usually fine. But yeah, the I think the main problem would be the students who have to share instruments.
Yeah, I agree with that. One of the I did read about it, and that they're saying that they're gonna make us wear masks even when we're performing, and we have to cut like a little slit for the mouthpiece to go through. But
That
that I
completely
kind of feel
defeats the
like it's kind of
purpose.
dumb because that just
That
defeats the purpose of wearing the mask in the first place.
Yeah, because the arrow will be able to go in through that little slit.
Exactly.
There's no point in doing that. I mean,
You might as well
I,
wear it on your chin, like what we
yeah,
have been doing, because
yeah. I mean, honestly, that makes sense to me because the arrow would just go in through the slit
yeah.
and out. So it's like there's no point.
And then also at the same time, our instruments are gonna have to have bell covers.
Well, also with the whole mask thing, well, that affects the sound a huge amount.
Yeah.
Um, but also, it's gonna be harder to have that air support because of the mask,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's gonna make things more difficult. Again, we're just putting out those ideas because I don't want like people in comments being like, but, um, yeah, we're just kind of bringing this stuff up because it's like these are the things that could go wrong with it. We're also bringing up good parts about it as well.
Karen, please stay out of our comments. But
um,
yeah, is there anything else that either one of you two want to say?
well, I do want to bring up some of the other arts, like
Okay.
for example, choir and like drama department. Um, well, with choir, they're basically gonna have the whole spacing out thing. They're not even gonna be doing risers, so I find that good about it.
Yeah, you
But
got. They're not doing like the arc thing and all of it in choir, band, and orchestra either. It's we all have to be facing the same way.
yeah, also, I don't think they're gonna be having choir do the masks if they're because mainly because it's hard to sing with a mask, like super hard. And again, it's the same situation with choir as it is band, as in like there's two ways of doing it: all online or hybrid mode. Um, and as for the unlucky drama department, they're not really having that going,
Yeah.
which really sucks. But
How does
I mean,
that
I get
work?
why. So, because a lot of drama you have to have in-person class because it'd be really hard to do. drama stuff not in person. And like for me, I was gonna do actor studio, but um, they didn't have an online version for it. I feel like there could be an online version, but it'd be super difficult to pull off. Because even with just um being in a performance, let's use that as an example. You'd have to be in person for that, and it's pretty much impossible to follow the guidelines while trying to do a performance.
Yeah.
Like imagine trying to do let's just say
It's the same with band performances, kind of, right? Because,
yeah. Let's say they tried to do Newsies. Do you guys remember that one?
kind of,
Let's say they try to do that using social distancing and masks.
that it wouldn't really,
Oh,
it wouldn't really work.
Yeah, so I mean, while it would be nice to have it, why they aren't using it because it could cause a lot of damage, and it's like it wouldn't be as fun first of all, and secondly, it'd be really hard with either hybrid or online.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know how they're going to be doing med side for me for next semester because I know my friend Kiori, she does culinary there, and right now she just has to cook at home because they're not like holding classes there.
Yeah,
And so I don't even know if I'm going to have like a med side class next semester. Oh, it's time.
sorry, your voice is acting up a little bit. Anyways, yeah. As for the med side, I think they might be able to pull that off because they're having like they're able to do a lot of the like health and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess health is like a part of health is wearing a mask, so um they should be able
Yeah,
to pull that off.
I
As
will
like
say, I
yeah.
will say, that I feel like having classes like health or med sci or something like that, basically classes about health, is a really key thing, especially in this like time of like just with the pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely a big need right now is to be able to know stuff.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree with that. Relation to the like the CAA and stuff like that, it really kind of feels like that they should be under like a different thing like compared to the high schools and stuff like that too. Because that yes, it's the school district offices too, but I've been inside like those classrooms and they seem like they're big enough to be able to follow the
Yeah.
guidelines, especially because some of the classes are like not that big. Like engineering, the classes are only like maybe 10 people.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. I was in part of the building at CAA, and one of the classes, I forget what class it was, but it was like as big as like a college professor's class.
Yeah,
It was several.
I
Oh,
think that's the engineering classroom, Clayton.
while we are talking about college, I did want to bring up one little thing that I found out earlier this week. So apparently there are colleges that had sent like the kids home that aren't even like
Yeah,
they're basically not even like even for college students that just got there and paid their like tuition and everything, which isn't cheap at all. They're not giving
Yeah.
them any kind of like refund at all.
yeah, it
So they basically got there, took all of this money, and said, "Okay, go home."
Yeah.
I don't feel like
About
that's
that.
right.
it's
About
really
that, I feel
not.
like
It's really truly not.
I feel like the students could easily sue the school for that.
Yeah, and in fact, a teacher that I was in class with was kind of saying that too. That'd be an interesting kind of lawsuit, and I feel like they could because really that isn't right at all in any standpoint
Mm-hmm.
because it's literally I know this isn't even close to a good like representation as into effective wise, but that's kind of like me going to, let's just say, a coffee shop, asking for a coffee, paying for it, and then them saying, "Okay, go," and not giving me it at all. Like they're literally, but
Especially
like it's
because
extreme.
housing is the most expensive thing
Yeah, and then they're
for a college
basically
student.
so they're kicking them out, which again, I get why they're disbanding the college right now, or not disbanding, but you know what I mean. Uh, because of all the COVID stuff, but like, give them a break. Like, college debt is a big enough problem as it is, but making them pay for college that they haven't even experienced yet. I don't know. I feel like there should be some sort of law against that.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe this will be a year where that change may start getting rolling too. Because I mean, this year is having some pretty crazy stuff, like society changing stuff. So who knows?
Yeah, and I just felt like I really needed to bring that up because I want to shed some light on this because it's not really that talked about much.
Yeah, I agree. So is
That
there?
like,
Go ahead.
I mean, because I'm sure there's a lot of you adults out there that um have had struggle with uh college debt, especially if you're not that financially like if you don't have a lot of financial like say if you don't have like a good job or you come from a not so lucky family with that financial stuff. Like this is like a really bad thing for them because they just made the problem a huge amount worse.
And then we can't keep out the fact that there's also colleges where students are literally having these COVID parties and they don't care. Like literally
Oh yeah,
the past week there was an incident where this the police said, "Are you aware that you tested positive for COVID?" Yes. Are you aware you're supposed to be quarantining and not having any guests over? Yes. And he had like absolutely no remorse over it either. That's where
okay.
it's just like
First off,
they're
first off,
not realizing they're ruining it for everybody else.
first off, if you're a college kid watching this right now, don't have a COVID party.
Don't.
Okay,
It's not
it's
worth it.
dumb on all stances. I know you're trying to prove a point, but that point could get you really sick, your friends really sick, and possibly kill someone. I mean, just look at what's happened with the other COVID parties, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Like the
Just
Nelk boys on
stop.
YouTube, they have been busted for going to multiple different colleges and having these parties, and they're not getting in trouble for it.
Yeah, like when it comes to that, I feel like just listen to the guidelines. Okay, just we this will all be over sooner if everyone just follows the guidelines.
Yes, follow
Uh,
the guidelines.
Like
yeah, I have
it
something
doesn't
to
have
add. That like,
it doesn't have to be about proving a point or anything. Just follow the guidelines. All right, sorry. What were you saying, Clayton?
I said I have something to add about like the reimbursement of like uh, colleges for taking like students' money, basically. All right, so a lot of Boston University students sued the school, and the government is expected to give them $15 million in federal aid um, for like the higher education relief fund, and half of which is required to go directly to help the students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they should be doing that because
That's
I just don't think it's right to take the money and then send them home
yeah,
after not doing anything with them.
I
yeah.
agree.
That $0.5 million is going directly to Boston University students. I don't know about any other colleges. It was something that I just found right now, but that is something that is going good out of that.
So yeah,
So I guess we're pretty running low here on time here. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to say before we end our discussion?
No, I'm good. How
I
about you,
mean, we
Christian?
pretty. Stay tuned if you want us to talk about it more because in the coming weeks we're going to be going more in depth with online
yeah,
school and having some community feedback
yeah.
with what are
As
other
we
people's
learn more
opinions.
stuff, we'll be giving you guys more information on that.
So, I guess check out Fire Games, which is Christian's gaming channel.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I'd tell you to check out mine, Chillin' and Gaming YT, but I haven't uploaded in a couple of weeks, so I'll let you guys know when I'm getting back on that.
All right. Is there anything else?
I believe that is it.
So
Okay.
we are going to tune out. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.